Welcome to the Deep Dive. This is where we take source material, could be articles, research notes, and we pull out the really key nuggets of knowledge. The goal, to help you get well-informed, fast. Today, we're diving deep into kidney health, something that, well, affects a lot of us, especially as we get older. And it makes you think, what if the story we're usually told about kidneys and aging, what if that's not the full picture? It's a pretty arresting thought, especially when you hear that over 90% of seniors who actually have kidney damage, they don't even know it, not until they're suddenly facing dialysis. And the CDC, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, they report over 786,000 Americans are on dialysis right now. And yet the vast majority are over 60.
It's a staggering number, truly. And, the global dialysis industry, it's reportedly worth over $100 billion. So our source material raises a really provocative question. With such a huge industry, why isn't there more talk, more mainstream discussion about natural approaches? So this deep dive, we're going to explore some specific claims from our sources. Claims about natural ways you might be able to, say, cleanse kidneys, lower creatinine levels, maybe even reverse early stage damage. We're talking up to 62% naturally, according to the sources.
Okay, wow, 62%. All right, let's unpack this. We're going to look at 8 natural drinks. The sources call them powerful and say they're based entirely on peer-reviewed science, all designed to help protect and maybe even restore kidney function. So yeah, let's get into it. Starting our countdown with drink number 8. Drink number 8 is lemon water with Himalayan salt. Now, lemon water, maybe you think it's just a trend, right? But the claim here is that for people over 60, this simple drink could be a pretty strong natural defense against that hidden kidney damage we mentioned. And it gets really interesting with the chemistry.
Yeah, the science is actually quite elegant. So when you squeeze fresh lemon into warm water, you're getting a good dose of natural citrate. And this citrate, it binds with calcium in your urine. That's the key step. It stops crystals forming, the ones that turn into kidney stones.
Okay. Kidney stones.
Exactly. And specifically calcium oxalate stones, which are, the most common type in older adults. There was even a study, I think it was in Urology Research and Practice. It found that drinking lemon water daily cut the risk of stone formation by almost 48%. And that was just in 6 weeks.
48%. Wow. Okay. And the salt part, Himalayan salt.
Right. So adding just a pinch of pink Himalayan salt adds another layer. Unlike regular table salt, the pink stuff has over 80 trace minerals. Think magnesium, potassium, calcium. These minerals are really important. They help regulate your body's fluid balance, and they can also help with something called chronic low-grade metabolic acidosis.
Acidosis, like the body being too acidic.
Exactly. Just slightly too acidic. It's a common issue when kidney function starts to decline. And because Himalayan salt is unrefined, it has these balancing minerals, it doesn't tend to spike blood pressure like processed salt can.
That's fascinating, especially the citrate part. Okay. So let's say someone listening has already had kidney stones.
Yeah.
Would the sources suggest this is something they should definitely consider, like proactively?
Oh, absolutely. The research really points to its preventative power, reducing the chance of new stones forming. So yes, it's presented as a proactive natural strategy. It works with your body's own systems.
Okay, makes sense. So how to make it? The sources suggest starting your day with this, right on an empty stomach. Use about half a lemon, maybe 200 milliliters. It's a little less than a standard cup of warm filtered water, not hot, just warm. And a tiny pinch, really tiny, like no more than 1/8 of a teaspoon of the pink salt. Stir it up and then sip it slowly. Gives your body time to absorb it and get that gentle flushing effect. All right, moving on. Coming in at number 7. This is described as a quiet champion, used for thousands of years in ancient healing, and now modern science is backing up its power for kidney protection. It's barley water.
Barley water, yeah. It's remarkably rich in something called beta-glucans.
Beta-glucans.
Right. It's a type of soluble fiber. And these beta-glucans, they act almost like natural sponges in your system. They help trap and then eliminate excess urea and creatinine. Those are 2 key waste products that build up when your kidneys aren't filtering as efficiently as they used to. There was a 2020 study published in Renal Failure, I believe. It looked at patients with early stage kidney issues, the ones who drank barley water daily. They saw a significant drop in creatinine levels, about 15% just within 4 weeks.
15% in 4 weeks.
Yeah. And the GFR, the glomerular filtration rate, which measures how well the kidneys are filtering, that improved too. Plus, barley's got other good stuff. Magnesium, selenium, antioxidants like ferulic acid. These all work together to calm inflammation in the nephrons.
The nephrons. Those are the little filters inside the kidneys.
Exactly, the microscopic filters. Reducing inflammation there is crucial because long-term, low-grade inflammation often leads to fibrosis, that's scar tissue. And scar tissue replaces healthy filtering cells, which you definitely don't want. Oh, and it also acts as a gentle diuretic, helps flush out extra sodium and uric acid without putting a strain on your system. This can really help with that common swelling you sometimes see in legs and ankles.
That's quite a list of benefits.
Yeah.
So you mentioned it's been used for ages. Do the sources say if these benefits, especially for things like reducing scarring, are quick fixes, or is it more about sticking with it long term?
That's a good question. The research really points towards consistent daily use for those cumulative effects, especially for reducing inflammation and preventing that fibrosis, the scarring. It's more like you're building up your cellular defenses over time, not really an instant fix.
Right, consistency is key. Okay, so how do you prepare it? It sounds pretty straightforward. Rinse about half a cup of whole barley, then boil it in, say, 4 cups of water for maybe 30 minutes. Then you just strain out the grains, let the liquid cool down. You can drink it warm or cold. The suggestion is 1 to 2 cups a day, maybe in the afternoon. Helps support detoxification and could help keep stones or creatinine buildup in check. Okay, on to number 6. This one shows that, well, powerful kidney support can pop up in unexpected places. We're talking about a common, well, some call it a weed, with uncommon kidney power, dandelion root tea.
Huh, yeah. A weed to some, but a powerhouse for kidneys. Dandelion root has these specific bioactive compounds. Tiraxastrol and chlorogenic acid are the main ones mentioned, and these compounds actively support diuresis. That's just the body's natural process of making more urine to flush out metabolic waste products. There was a study in 2018, Journal of Renal Nutrition, I think. It showed that taking dandelion extract daily significantly increased urine output up to 30% more. And it also lowered blood urea nitrogen, or BUN, which is a big marker for kidney stress.
30% increase in urine output.
Wow. Yeah, and for older adults, the antioxidants in dandelion root are particularly helpful. They directly protect your glomeruli.
Those tiny filters again.
Exactly. Protects them from oxidative stress, from free radical damage. If that damage goes unchecked, it can lead to glomerulosclerosis, basically, scarring that hardens the kidneys over time. And one more thing, this tea also helps support healthy potassium levels. That's really critical for fluid balance, for blood pressure regulation, and even for preventing those annoying leg cramps that can crop up.
Okay, so it sounds like a pretty serious detoxifier. You hear dandelion, so as people think it's harsh. Do the sources address any common misconceptions? Maybe about how intense it is?
Yes, that's a good point. A common thought is that it's a really harsh diuretic, that it might deplete your electrolytes, but the sources actually emphasize it's a gentle diuretic. And interestingly, it actually supports healthy potassium levels, which is pretty unique compared to some pharmaceutical diuretics that can deplete potassium. So gentle but effective seems to be the message.
Gentle, but effective. Okay, good to know. And preparing it. You can use fresh chopped dandelion root if you have it, or you just get organic dried tea bags, probably easier. Boil about a teaspoon of the root in roughly 1.5 cups of water for 10 minutes. Then let it steep for another 5 minutes or so, the recommendation. Drink it once a day, maybe between meals, just to give your kidneys that nice, deep herbal flush. All right, number 5 brings us nettle leaf tea. You probably walked past dingy nettles a million times, never guessing they hold one of the most potent natural kidney tonics out there. The sources talk about it supporting everything from detox to actual cellular support.
Yeah, nettle is definitely more than just a weed you avoid touching. And this isn't just folklore, there's clinical backing. A 2014 study, I think it was the Avisa Journal of Phytomedicine, found nettle leaf extract significantly lowered serum creatinine, uric acid, and blood urea nitrogen. And this was in patients who already had early-stage kidney dysfunction. And importantly, it also boosted their antioxidant enzyme levels. So it's actively helping neutralize that internal inflammation and oxidative stress that slowly damages the kidney's filtering units over time.
Okay, lowering creatinine, uric acid, BUN. That sounds promising.
It is. And nettle contains these bioactive compounds, flavonoids, vitamin C, beta-sitosterol. These have been shown to block certain pro-inflammatory cytokines.
Cytokines, those are like inflammation messengers.
Exactly. They're signals that contribute to the degeneration and even shrinking of the glomeruli in aging kidneys. So nettle essentially helps slow down those inflammatory fires that can, metaphorically burn through your kidney tissue. Plus, like dandelion, it's a gentle, natural diuretic. Helps with swelling, especially in the feet, can help lower blood pressure a bit, and aids in clearing out uric acid buildup.
You used the term regeneration or cellular support earlier. That sounds quite significant. How exactly does Nettle help there, according to the research? Is it actually rebuilding tissue?
Well, regeneration might be a strong word in the sense of growing new tissue. It's more about supporting the health and function of the existing kidney cells. By blocking those pro-inflammatory signals and providing antioxidants, it creates a better environment. It helps cells function optimally and potentially recover from early stress, slowing down further damage. So it's more about protecting and supporting function rather than rebuilding from scratch.
Okay, that clarification helps. Supporting existing cells, reducing stress. Got it. So how do you make this one? Pretty simple again. Steep about 1 teaspoon of dried nettle leaf in a cup of hot water. Let it sit for 10 to 15 minutes to really extract the goodies. For the best effect, the sources suggest drinking it maybe once in the morning and once before bed. And just a reminder, whenever you're adding these kinds of teas, make sure you're still drinking plenty of plain water throughout the day. Hydration is always key. Okay, up next at number 4. Blueberry and parsley infused water. Sounds a bit fancy maybe, like something you'd see at a spa. But the claim here is that this simple combo is actually one of the most powerful research-backed ways to protect your kidneys, especially after age 60.
Yeah, it might sound trendy, but the power is really in the synergy between the two ingredients. Blueberries, as many people know, are just loaded with anthocyanins. These are potent antioxidants, and they specifically seem to target and reduce oxidative stress inside the kidneys. There was a big study, a clinical journal of the American Society of Nephrology, I recall. It linked diets rich in these anthocyanins to a pretty significant 36% lower risk of chronic kidney disease getting worse.
36% lower risk.
Yeah.
Just from antioxidants like those in blueberries.
Seems like it plays a big role. Then you add parsley. Parsley works differently. It's known as a gentle diuretic and a natural cleanser. It contains a compound called apigenin. And apigenin has shown promise in reducing nephrotoxicity.
Nephrotoxicity, that's
Okay.
damage from excessive.
Yeah. Damaged kidneys can suffer over years from things like a poor diet, maybe too many medications, high blood pressure, that kind of chronic stress. A 2021 study in biomedicine and pharmacotherapy using rats confirmed parsley extract helped improve creatinine clearance and reduced inflammation in kidney tissue. So you see the synergy. Blueberries bring the antioxidant protection against internal damage, while parsley helps flush out waste and delivers other useful nutrients like vitamin C and folate.
That combination makes a lot of sense. Sounds like a really easy thing to add to your day.
Yeah.
Do the sources mention anything else diet-wise that would complement this?
Yeah, they definitely emphasize the bigger picture. A whole foods diet, lots of fruits and vegetables, cutting back on processed foods and especially excess sodium. This infused water then becomes like a powerful supportive tool within that overall kidney-friendly lifestyle.
Right, it's part of the package. Okay, preparation. Super easy. Just take a small handful of fresh blueberries, maybe wash them first, and several sprigs of flat leaf parsley. Add them to a large glass or a bottle of filtered water. Let it infuse in the fridge for at least a couple of hours, lets the flavors and compounds meld. Then you can just sip on it throughout the day. Good between meals, keeps that gentle support going without overloading anything.
Ah.
All right, cracking the top 3. At number 3, we have hibiscus tea, that beautiful, vibrant red flower you often see in teas. Turns out it's not just pretty. It holds some powerful compounds that the sources say can directly improve kidney health and maybe even slow down that progression towards needing dialysis.
Absolutely. Hibiscus tea is packed with beneficial stuff, organic acids, flavonoids, and those anthocyanins again, which we know are great antioxidants. There was a study, Journal of Renal Injury Prevention, that found hibiscus extract cut markers of kidney damage by up to 47%. This was in people who already had early kidney dysfunction.
47% reduction in damage markers. How did it do that?
Primarily by tackling oxidative stress and preventing the hardening of renal arteries, the arteries supplying the kidneys. When those arteries are healthier and more flexible, you get better blood flow and better filtration. And this is really critical for seniors, after 60. Kidneys just become more vulnerable then to the damage caused by high blood pressure, diabetes, chronic inflammation. Hibiscus tea seems to help on multiple fronts. It helps dilate blood vessels, which can naturally lower systolic blood pressure. It protects those tiny glomeruli filters from free radical damage. And some evidence suggests it even supports the regeneration or health of kidney epithelial cells.
Wow, blood pressure, cell health. Seems quite comprehensive.
It is. Plus, like some others we've mentioned, it's a mild diuretic. Helps increase urine output gently, flushing sodium and toxins. But importantly, it does this without causing you to lose too much potassium.
Okay, so multiple benefits, especially around blood pressure. Is this something particularly good for certain people, or is it generally beneficial?
While it seems generally beneficial for kidney health, the sources really highlight its impact for folks already dealing with hypertension, high blood pressure, or maybe those with prediabetes or type 2 diabetes, because those conditions are such major drivers of kidney problems as people age.
Good to know. And making it. Steep about 1 tablespoon of dried hibiscus petals. You can usually find these easily in hot water for 10 to 15 minutes. Strain it. One key tip from the sources: try to avoid adding lots of sugar. Excess sugar is exactly the kind of stress kidneys don't need. Aim for 1 to 2 cups a day, maybe after meals. Okay, get ready for number 2. This one might be new to many listeners. Chlorella detox water. The source material calls this potentially the most powerful kidney repairing plant you've never heard of, really emphasizing its role in sort of rebuilding or supporting the kidney's internal structure.
Chlorella is fascinating. It's a microscopic green algae, but it's a nutritional powerhouse, especially for detoxification. Its big claim to fame is its ability to bind to heavy metals. We're talking things like cadmium, lead, mercury. These metals can quietly build up in your kidneys over decades and cause real damage. There was a study, quite groundbreaking in environmental toxicology and pharmacology. It found that supplementing with chlorella reduced the accumulation of cadmium in the kidneys by, get this, up to 66%.
66% reduction in cadmium, that's huge. Heavy metals are a serious issue.
They really are. But chlorella does more than just detox. It's packed with chlorophyll, iron, magnesium, and these unique bioactive peptides. These compounds are thought to stimulate the regeneration again, supporting the health of kidney epithelial cells. And they may help slow down fibrosis, that scar tissue formation that stiffens the kidney and reduces function. It also seems to help balance phosphate and urea levels, which can get out of whack with kidney issues. Another study, 2020, Frontiers in Pharmacology, showed chlorella improved GFR filtration rate and reduced proteinuria.
Proteinuria. Protein in the urine.
Exactly, which is one of the earliest and most significant warning signs that the kidneys are under stress and starting to leak things they shouldn't.
Okay, binding to heavy metals. Supporting cells. This sounds potent. Are there any special considerations, especially for seniors starting out with chlorella? How do you use it safely?
Yes, absolutely. Because it is such an effective detoxifier, some people might experience mild, temporary detox symptoms when they first start. Maybe some fatigue, mild digestive changes. Nothing serious usually, but noticeable. So the sources strongly advise starting with a very small dose, maybe even just half of the suggested amount. Let your body adjust, then gradually increase it. And crucially, they say to look for cracked cell wall chlorella. This form is much easier for your body to absorb and utilize all those beneficial compounds.
Cracked cell wall chlorella. Got it. Okay, so practical use. Dissolve about half to 1 teaspoon of the chlorella powder, starting with a half into a large glass of filtered water. Best time is probably morning or early afternoon, ideally on an empty stomach. Stir it really well, drink it down, and then, this is important, follow it up with another full glass of plain water. Helps with hydration and flushing out those bound toxins. Remember, cracked cell wall, start small. And now, we've arrived at number 1. The single most powerful drink, according to our sources, for protecting and restoring your kidneys. If you were listening closely earlier, you might already guess it, making a return appearance. It's barley water. Yes, the sources rank this as the absolute number 1. The single most underrated kidney protector on the planet. Its appearance back at number 7 was really just scratching the surface.
Exactly right. Its number 1 ranking is really justified when you look at the full scope of its benefits based on the research presented. We talked about its cleansing ability and improving filtration earlier, sure, but the deeper dive shows it goes much, much further. It seems to actively prevent stone formation, not just flush things out. And it significantly reduces protein buildup in the urine, that proteinuria we just mentioned. Remember that study I mentioned earlier about reducing creatinine? Well, another landmark study, this one in the International Journal of Green Pharmacy, found patients drinking barley water daily saw an incredible 62% reduction in urinary oxalates.
62% reduction in oxalates.
Yeah.
Those are the main culprits in kidney stones, right?
Major culprits, yes. They lead to stone formation and that underlying inflammation. So reducing them by that much is huge for prevention. And there's another critical aspect, especially vital for older adults: mineral regulation and protecting against vascular calcification.
Calcification, like hardening of the arteries inside the kidneys.
Precisely. Barley water is quite high in magnesium, and magnesium plays a key role in preventing this hardening, which is a common problem as kidney function declines with age. So you've got detox, anti-inflammation, stone prevention, and structural protection for the blood vessels, plus maintaining that crucial mineral balance. And it does all this while still being that remarkably mild yet effective diuretic. drain on the kidneys themselves, it's a really comprehensive support system.
Wow. Okay, number 1 for a reason, it seems. So the preparation is the same as we discussed for number 7. Yes, exactly. Rinse half a cup of whole barley thoroughly. Boil it in 3 to 4 cups of water for about 30 to 40 minutes this time, maybe a bit longer cooking. Let it cool down, strain out the grains, then just sip that water throughout the day. Again, 1 to 2 cups daily, ideally between meals. Seems to be the recommendation for the best results. The sources mentioned many seniors report seeing benefits like lighter colored urine, less puffiness in their ankles or legs, even noticing slightly lower blood pressure readings within just a few weeks of consistent use. Okay, we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive. From lemon water to barley water, nettle, hibiscus, 8 powerful science-backed drinks, according to our sources. They really offer some natural tools, things you can do yourself to fight back against common kidney issues, the swelling, the fatigue, the toxic overload that can happen. And the really profound thing here, I think, is that these solutions, they don't necessarily require expensive treatments or complex prescriptions. They're more about building consistent daily habits. Habits that are actually pretty easy to weave into your life.
It is fascinating, isn't it? How often the simplest things, these natural interventions that you can easily integrate into your daily routine, how often they hold the key to really significant health improvements. And it does raise that broader question, doesn't it? What other parts of our health might just be waiting for us to unlock them just by understanding and applying natural remedies more deeply?
That is a powerful thought. So, for everyone listening, you now have essentially a blueprint. 8 potential ways to proactively support your kidney health based on this research. The message seems clear. Don't necessarily wait for symptoms to get worse or for lab results to sound the alarm. Maybe pick just 1 drink from this list today, whichever one resonated most with you or seems easiest to start with, and just begin. Try incorporating it. Because as the sources suggest, every sip can count. Every small, consistent change really can matter. So here's a final thought to leave you with. In a world that's often focused on complex, high-tech medical solutions, what simple, perhaps overlooked, natural wisdom might be waiting right there for you to discover, offering a potential blueprint for a healthier future, maybe starting right in your own kitchen.